Hi, it's Jim with Skyrocket Radio, and gosh, I am so excited to share our brand new image editor with you. This is for Skyrocket Radio customers only. It is a premium extension, but I'm going to tell you that this extension here has it's completely changed my workflow inside of WordPress. So, yes, I'm super excited to share this with you. And I'm going to be explaining why that this is really a must-have for your website. Of course, image editor. The reason that we have that is because stations, a lot of them do not have Photoshop. For years, we have recommended that stations go out to a website like pixlr.com. They have a pixel art editor that it's kind of like Photoshop when you jump into it, or you can create new and then cancel. But if you jump into it, um, it will, you have a similar editing experience like Photoshop, but there's a lot going on here. And if you've never been in Photoshop and know what layers are and the filters and stuff like that, then it can be overwhelming. And you're just getting back into I have to learn this whole new thing of software in order to edit my images. And so, and this one is free, but they pay for it with advertisings that pop up as you're editing, and so that's not really a good editing experience, especially if you're on a time crunch and you're trying to get an image edited for maybe a story that's going out on your website and that sort of thing. So, image editor lives here within WordPress, so you're already in the space that you're working on for your news stories, or if you're uploading contests or events or something like that. So it's already here. You can find it in the under the media tab under image editor. If you were to go to a post and you were, create new post, and here under featured image, there's an image editor button. So it's right there. So I can click image editor, and the image editor will pop up here, and then I can edit my featured image right here. I'm not having to, find an image editor of some kind, or Microsoft Paint, or something like that. And the reason that we created this is so you didn't have to open up something else and save that image and then upload that image to the website. You're doing all of your work where you already are. And so if we were to, and what I'll do is I'll just go through the user interface here just to kind of show you what everything does. And we'll start from top to bottom, and we'll try to cover everything here. So when the image editor opens up, the user interface is going to be the same no matter whether you're in the media library, you're on a tab there, or if you open it up from a featured image link location. So up here at the top, you have featured image size. Now, the one cool thing that this has over other image editing softwares is that the canvases that you have are already you're already wanting to create images for these particular sizes. So you see, we have the featured image on this website. As you know, we recommend 800 by 500. Well, there's already an 800 by 500 box here. I don't have to go create an 800 by 500 box first and then do my editing. It's already created for me. Or let's say I'm uploading a obituary or an on-air image. That's square at 400 by 400. There's your 400 by 400 box. All right. A leaderboard ad, 728 by 90. A square ad, 300 by 250, or an image slider, 1170 by 500. Now you can change these. I'm going to show you where in just a moment. You can add your own custom size for just whatever you're working on right here if you want to. But let's go back to featured image here. The frame background, you can dictate what the frame background is. Maybe you want to use a red, and then put some things here on top of it. You can do that, or you can just clear the canvas out. You can zoom in if you want to, or you can just go to fit or 100%. Of course, we have undo right here, and the regular keyboard shortcuts work for saving and duplication, and Control Z is normally undo. So There you go. All of those still work within this. And then you have your settings here. Well, let's open up that real quick. So you have your frame sizes. Remember, I had talked about frame sizes up here. If you have some particular frame sizes that you use for, let's say your image slider is not 1170 by 500. Let's say yours is 1200 by 600. All right. And so you can change those out in here or add other sizes if you want to, or you can even come in here and say, you know what, we're not going to, uh, edit any leaderboards or square ads, so we can go ahead and delete those. All right. Or you can add your own custom sizes here as well. For saving, you have JPEG or WebP. We recommend that all stations that you use JPEGs, because if you grab an image from sites like Canva or something like that, they're going to want to export to PNG files. And PNG files are great if you have or need transparency. If you don't, then PNG files are 3 to 5 times larger in file size typically than JPEGs. WebP images are 3 to 5 times smaller than JPEGs. So, and they support transparency. So why wouldn't you use WebP all the way around? Well, a lot of websites don't export directly to WebP. This one does, though. All right, so we'll leave that one as WebP. Now, you notice that we have blurred backgrounds right here. And the reason why you would want that is, let's say somebody gave you a square image, and zooming in on that square image for your 800 by 500 background doesn't really make sense. So we use a technique that TV stations really started using, and that is to put the image here and then duplicate the layer and then blur it and then make it either light or dark in the background. Even if that was video, that's the way TV stations do it. If somebody was to have, to have taken their video with a phone like this rather than like this. So that's what we use. So you can choose the blur amount right here or the brightness of the background. And so these settings will be there every time you use this effect. And I'll show you how cool it is to use this effect in just a moment. And then your station branding. Let's say if you create images very often that maybe even has you want to put a watermark on your images, or you want to put a logo down in the lower, right corner or something like that, you can upload a logo here. And I'll go to Rocket, and let's say this image right here. And then we'll use that image. Okay. And then that image is there. And then, I can change the size of it and the opacity here. Let's bring it down a little bit. And all right, so we'll save that. And then here under text, you have the ability, we have these text fonts in there automatically when you add text to layers, but you can down here go into Google Fonts and import certain fonts within the Google font library to use there as well. Maybe you don't use any of these and you find a font within the Google font library, you can add it right down here. And then redaction. This is cool. Let's say if you took a picture of a car or whatever, and you were going to use that as a story, but you wanted to maybe blur out or not show the license plate for some reason. You can do that real easily by adding a redaction layer on top of the image. You don't have to actually go in there and, go around the license plate with a tool and then, change it to a different color or delete it or something like that. You can use a pixelate redaction or a blur or even a solid color. And then what level of redaction do you need there? You want it a little bit blurry or a lot of blurry, right? So this is actually really, really cool. All right, and then save settings. Now let's get into the editing space here. You have the ability, and you see we have a logo. If we click on this as an item here, we see that we have our logo down here in the lower right. Over here at the side, we have our different layers. So each layer can be moved up and down depending on what you have in your editing space here. To get images into this, let's say that you went to let's say this is a free stock library website. So you can use images from this website. They claim, I would look into the terms and conditions just to make sure, since you're a radio station, but For the most part, I've used images from here and haven't had any trouble. But if let's say you wanted to pull an image from here, I can maybe use a screenshot tool, like I could capture this area right here and then hit copy, and I can just come in here and then hit paste if I wanted to, right? Or I can even go in here and right click on this image, copy the image link, and then come in here and hit paste, and then boom, there's the image. So that makes it really, really easy right there. I didn't have to save that image to my computer and then upload it into some sort of photo editing software. I just hit copy and then come in here and then hit paste. You can also drag images over into this editing space as well, and they will pop up here. But copying and pasting, that's really the easiest way, because I get a lot of images for website setups in emails. And so very easy, hit copy, come in here, hit paste. I'm not having to save that image to my computer and then upload it here. Of course, you can upload an image here as well. You can also pull something from the media library. So let's say we wanted to come in here and add this one to the canvas. And you see what it does, what it did is it put it above that. I could drag this down below. All right. Or so you can bring in things from the media library, as many things as you want to. So I can bring this down. I can resize these here. I can, if I click here and I click the little red circle up here at the top, I can around so I can make a big photo collage here, and then come back into the library and grab another image. Right. And, right. Bring this one to the top by simply clicking and dragging above. All right. And let's come into the library again. Let's else. Below all of these. So you see, you have many options here. So, and let's grab another one down. This. All right. So we have a bunch of images here in like a collage that we can use. So that makes it real easy. And so, just so many clicks, and we haven't even left WordPress at all. We haven't even grabbed anything from our computer, and we've just hit copy and hit paste. So makes it so easy. And then you can add color layers here. So if I had just a layer right here, bring this down. I wanted to change the color of this layer to maybe a red, and I can make it go off screen here. Maybe I wanted something like I wanted to frame this somehow, like maybe like this or something, or I'll put some text up here in the corner. All right. And then, so that's the color. Now, if you can add a shape layer as well. What shape layer do I want? Do I want a rectangle? Do I want a circle, ellipse, a rounded rectangle, or even an arrow? If I wanted to, and point to that guy's hat. All right. So, all right. And then we'll add a text layer here. And the text layer can be whatever I want to. These are the fonts that we have set up in our settings a little while ago. All right. So the text is going to be save on tickets now. All right. Bring that up here. Tighten that up just a little bit. And let's say I wanted to do um, another shape layer, bottom, go all the way across. And for this one, this shape layer will change the opacity, bring it down just a little bit. All right. We can add some blur to it, or go up and down on the color, make it sharp. Let's say this image right here maybe wasn't sharp enough. We can blur it a little bit, or we can come in here to the opacity or sharpen it. So it's make it really, really sharp. Okay. We have a lot of different options per layer over here to the side. And all we would have to do is to come up into a different layer. And then now we're editing that right there. We want to make this one black and white. All right. or we wanted to come back here and not make it black and white, but let's add a sepia tone to it. All right. So you have a lot of different options right here within the admin of your website. We haven't even left or brought anything in from our computer yet. All right. So, um, so you have shape layers, and then let's say we wanted to redact this cowboy hat right here. We didn't want to show the cowboy hat. We can just bring in a redaction layer, and then see, there you go. We didn't want to show him, and then that's what that looks like with the redaction layer on top there. All right. So we didn't have to go in there and do anything like that. So to reset, I can clear the canvas right here, clear out everything, and then we can start over brand new. Now, a lot of times that we will get images that are square, like I mentioned, and we have to do that blurred background. Made it really simple to do that. Let's pull in an image of here, canvas, and we're going to make this. Let's say this was the perfect image or whatever, right? And this is the image that we want, but it does not fill up our 800 by 500 uh, frame right here. So we can center this image just by clicking center, like this right here, and click center, and then one click, blur background. And so that fills up the background with this image stretched out to fill the entire frame, and then blurred and then darkened because of those settings that we have for the blurred background. All right. So this image right here would be ready to go and ready to upload, are just ready to save here to our website. So we're not having to download it and then re-upload it or anything like that. It's just right here and it's ready to go. This right here, this one step right here in a one-click step at that, makes this the most simple way to edit these images within your website admin, because this is a common thing. We'll get an image like from the client, or we've pulled an image from Facebook or something like that with permission, and we've it's square or it's tall rather than and it's just not right, and it doesn't fill our frame, and so we need to edit that. And so this allows us to do that very simply with just one click, and we don't have to worry about a solid color or something like that filling up the background of that. It's 800 by 500 like every other image should be. So, and we've talked about this before, if you've listened to our Better Radio Websites podcast, how it is so crucial that all of your featured images are the same height and the width. All right, those are the same across every featured image. Now, the images that appear within your post or within your images or contest or anything like that, that can be any size. But like on the home page is where the featured images will display, and so those do not need to have one tall, one wide, one square, one rectangle, that sort of thing, because it looks very unprofessional. This takes care of that, and we haven't left the website admin. That is the coolest thing for me, because I, whenever I do website setups, I am bringing images in from emails, and I'm saving a lot of images to folders on my hard drive, and then uploading them. This makes it so much easier, because really I'm not having to save photos at all. I'm just editing here and then clicking save and saving them within the website. Now, whenever we click save, you can download a copy of it if you want to. Of course, you can do that later within the media library as well, but you can just set and save as the featured image. And it actually tells you the size that image is going to be. So, and that is the biggest thing as well, because all of your images need to be optimized for web consumption, especially on mobile devices. It's so important. And if we were to save it as a JPEG, it'd be 20K, but the WebP is just 12. That's just insane that you get an image with this quality with just 12K. Most featured images, they need to be less than 50K. And so if you have an image above 50K, it can probably be optimized in some way. So this is going to save you space on your disk on the server. That makes a difference with when backups, when we take backups or whatever. If backups take a long time, they're going to take a long time to, restore if there is a problem. So that all makes a difference. And small images make a difference in SEO. It actually makes a difference that your image sizes make a difference in how search engines refer your website, because if your website is slower than your competitor will get the referral, not you, because their website loads faster. Even if their content is worse, if your website loads slow, they will get the referral. All right. So going on. So we have shapes and redactions and logos. Let's say that we come up with this cool way that we want to do our featured images. Let's say we get rid of this and we have let's add a shape layer, put it down here at the bottom. And you've seen these before. If I wanted to make this black, I want to opacity, bring that down a little bit, and then come in here text, and let's make it left, Oswald. And for this, we're just going to say title goes here. All right. So you've seen images like this before. So what we can do now is, with this in the right place, right, is we can save this as a template. And let's put our logo in here as well. We need to put that there. All right. We'll save this as a template. Now you have different sizes up here, but your templates that you save will be per size. So we're going to save this as a canvas, and we're going to call this breaking news. And so we're going to use name it breaking news, and we see we have a template saved down here. Now we can clear out our canvas, and then we can go back to this just by clicking one time. And so all of these actually show up. All of these layers show up as a part of this. And so all we would have to do now is to come in here, grab our breaking news image, put it in here, bring it down to the bottom. There you go. And then click on this, change our title. All right. And then hit save. And then we're done. All right. So we didn't have to recreate all of these elements down here. They were saved as the template. And you can make as many templates as you want to for each size that you have. If we come in here and we were to change this, then yeah, some of these elements are going to be off of the canvas. But you see what I mean? The templates down here are gone, but if we come back in here to this, that is back. All right. So, but yeah, clear the canvas, clear that, and then hit that, and then you see that we have our template that is there and ready to go. That right there is going to save you a lot of time, because if you have a certain way that you like to create featured images or breaking news or anything like that, you have now a template system that you don't have to put these images to the side and everything like that. Or maybe you have coupons that you're creating for multiple clients, and so you have a save now or something like that open in the corner or whatever. You have the ability to do that. And a cool thing is, if you have transparent images, you can pop them in. You saw that this Rocket Daily News was a PNG with a transparent background, and so that actually shines the transparency. The background actually comes right through on those transparent images. All right, and so again, each layer has canvas. Each layer goes through, and you can change the sharpness here. We mentioned some of these, but you can auto enhance levels here, and so you can crop images as well. So if I wanted to crop this image and just show. here, apply the crop, and then, oh, now it needs to go all the way out. I cut something off or whatever. Oh, no problem. I'll just blur out the background, and then I'll come up here to the side, and I'll drag both of those back. There you go. All right. So it doesn't get any easier than that. And the cool thing is we have not left the website. So that is it's a game changer for me because I'm in and out of Photoshop all the time. This makes it so much easier because the canvas is already there. I'm not having to go in. Normally, the very first thing that I did was go into Photoshop, create a new layer or a new box called 800 by 500, and then take whatever image that I got, paste it in there, save the image to the hard drive, and then upload it to the website. So we're talking about something that would take maybe 2 or 3 minutes, can now happen in about 15 seconds within your admin of your website. And again, whenever you get everything's finalized, you can hit save. You can choose to save it as a JPEG if you want to, or WebP. And you can come in here. You can kind of look at the optimization settings. You can see how that affects the file size right here. Normally, somewhere right around the mid range is going to be good. WebP is going to look great, and it's going to be a very, very small file size. You want to get those as much as possible, as small as possible, but not all the way down, because normally the very smallest optimization setting, you're either going to have a blurry image, or it's just not going to look newsworthy and professional. So you want to keep this slider about halfway. Probably just won't ever edit it at all. So don't even worry about that. Now, with every image that you save, the title and alt text is required. All right. So I have this thing here on auto setting, but so whatever your title of your post, that's normally what I put as the title and alt tag. That's actually a lazy way to do it. The title of this one should be, family watches storm. And then the alt text will get a little bit more. Family watches storm from living room. All right. And then a caption. If you grab this image from somewhere else, let's say if you grabbed it from pexels.com, I always put where I grabbed an image from within the caption, because 2 years from now, somebody may come and say, that picture of those toucan birds that you used on your website, that was mine. And that was a copyrighted image or whatever. And you were not going to know 2 years from now where you grabbed that image from. But if you put it in your caption, you know where you got it from. Hey, I got it from pexels.com, and pexels.com is a royalty-free website. And that's, if you have a copyright concern, you need to reach out to pexels.com. All right. So that's going to save you a lot of headache if you just put where you grabbed your image from within the caption. All right. If you grab this from somewhere like Facebook or something like that, and you have permission, I would put whoever the person's name is that actually took the image. So it goes a long way. You can save a copy of this. You can hit cancel. I can just save it to the media library. Let's say I want to make a change. I know that I want to make a change after. I can just save it to the media library and then go back to editing. Or I can hit save and set it as the featured image. So I hit save, and it's saved as the featured image. Title goes here, image down here. That's all ready to go. All right. So the cool thing is that here under add media, we have the image editor as well. So you can find this wherever that you need to either add or edit an image within your website. You come in here under on air, and let's right here, I can edit this in the image editor and set him to square, and then 400 by 400. If I wanted to optimize this image, of course, this image probably needs a little sharpening, so I can do that. All right. So it's that easy. And then hit close on this. We don't want to save it. And then again, you can go in under media and then image editor as well. All right. So this is our new image editor. Again, it has changed the way that I work inside of the website admin, and I hope it changes the way that you do as well. If you have any questions about it, reach out to us at skyrocketradio.com.